my Breville BES920, which is now been returned from service. And so in this video, I'm going to see if the problem of the volumetric function has been fixed. It's back from the service agent today, and they say all they've done is replaced the water flow meter. They've fitted a new water flow meter, and all steam, boiler pipes, etc. seals are replaced, and machine reset to factory settings. So apparently they've checked it. In my first two videos I showed that the volumetric function didn't work, so he will check it out today and see if it has been fixed by the serviceman. Just to save you a little bit of time of having to, those who don't want to watch the whole movie, want to get to the punchline right now, I'll give you a quick sum up of what's actually happened. It's a 15-minute video. Some of you will want to watch the whole thing, but I know many of you just want the result. Basically, I don't believe the volumetric function has been fixed. I've gone through about, 20 shots or so, and at the start, some of them seemed to be reasonably reliable in the same volume, but halfway through, I did a shot and it suddenly just went boop and stopped. And anyway, so I continued on from there, and having programmed the volume at 50 mils, I found that when I ground a fine shot, it was like 40 mils, and then the next shot later was a coarse grind, and it was 68 mils. So in essence, that's a difference of almost double the volume just by changing the Breville grinder from a 6 to 16. So there you go, that's the spoiler to save those who don't want to watch the whole thing. But for those who do want to watch the whole process, feel free to watch now, and I hope you enjoy that process there. We'll just go into the settings here to the volumetric, change it to flow based, which means we should be volumetric and not time based. Weigh out our beans, 18 grams of beans. And I've got this with a shim kit in there that's on 8. Let's just go for 7 and see what happens there. That's pretty fine. So this process that I'm doing is what I've used for the whole testing, and that's basically where I've weighed out the beans prior. So I'm using 18 grams of beans on every shot, and then tamping it the same and putting it in the machine. Because this is my first extraction with the programming, I'm just going to confirm that this is right. So if we set our 2-shot basket there, set this up with our cup on place there. Okay, and with that zeroed, I'll set this for around about 50 mils. A bit over 50. Not bad, so 41 seconds, it was a little bit on the slow side. All right, let's do that again and try with the coarser setting. We're going to take this right up to 30, just so we get a pretty extreme test. 18 grams of beans. I'm doing a YouTube about my new coffee machine. Not a new machine, of course. Still got this scratch on the front here that I was pretty unhappy about on this black one that happened in about the first month of using it. Anyway, let's check this again. So that's zeroed out there, and double shot. Oh, I'm excited. What's gonna happen? It should be pretty fast. Pressure's gonna be nothing. 6 bar. That's still not bad. 7. I'm actually up on I put the shim kit in my grinder this morning just to make sure I can get a slightly finer grind. Ooh, 51 mils. That could have fixed it. I'm going to do another test and just check that again. There we go. Look at the colour difference between those two. The first one's on the left, the second one's on the right. Much lighter. Where's my pre-infusion gone? Okay, maybe just warming itself up, but that was like 10 seconds of my time. Oh, look at that, no pressure at all. I don't think it pre-infused at all on that one. Anyway, what's that? Still the same weight though, so volumetrically, this has been fixed. So we've got our 3 coffees there, and you can see a substantial difference in the colour from the first to the last. I'm going to go back right to the number 7 that we had, or maybe 8 that we had at the first place, and just double check that and see if we get a consistent result again. Back to our fine grind again. Oh yeah, soft going on. Tear that. I'd like to know where my pre-infusion's gone though. So what is this? Full pump pressure. There's 0 pump pre-infusion pressure then. Anyway, that's a good pressure here with 10 bar. Time frame wise, probably a bit slow. It's not so bad. We'll see how we go. It's the volumetric factor we're trying to solve here, isn't it? What do we got? Only 32 mils. Ah. I was going to delete that last video because it was sideways, but because it was the 33 seconds, I've decided to keep it in place there so we can see that, because now I'm trying to prove that there is the variation. That's a pretty, we're down to 33 seconds or something. That's a pretty big variation. So I'm going to keep testing. So let's temp this and see, give it another go. Okay, that's on 0, double shot. Now what happened on the last video was I found I've got no pre-infusion pressure. Oh, what is that? Nothing. Anyway, let's see what happens here. 10 bar, not bad, bit drippy. This one's actually going in now up to, well, 58. It's still again pretty out. So let's try another one. Here we go again. I'm gonna have to set that pre-infusion pressure higher. Oh, what's happened there? Didn't do anything. It's like something slipped inside there and nothing's come out. Interesting. I am resetting this program because I accidentally reset the machine in between, so I've just reprogrammed that to the 50 mils that I had before, and then I'll do some more shots. Yeah, I accidentally pressed the reset button. It's crazy when you get into that advanced menu. It's about time to use one of those shots, I think. Definitely a lot higher than what I programmed it at. Another 10 mils. Now the timing's pretty long. That's 49 minus the pre-infusion is 39, so it's still a bit slow. So I'm going to increase my grind just to try and bring that timing down a little bit. Yeah. So we've got a 12 grind this time. Should be a bit closer to timing. Pre-infusion, nothing. Let's put that up a bit, eh? That's on 60%, I noticed before. 60% pre-infusion pressure. Should be, that's what it comes as default. That should be enough to pre-infuse, you would think. This is down on a 12, so you'd expect this to be quicker. should really be around about 38 in total by the time you include our 8-second pre-infusion. And that's closer to the 50 mils that we were hoping for originally. Going with a 6 grind this time, super fine. Alright, so this one is the 6 grind, which is very fine. I'm going to try a little trick that I learned on my brother's, which was to pump at full pressure to start with, and once it's going, then press the button to see whether the pre-infusion can come in. It's got a tiny bit, but it's struggling. So I slowed it down. And 40 mils, that is definitely not the 50 that we're aiming for. Let's try going coarse again. Let's go 16. Programmed this to 50, the last shot was 40 and it was ground fine. This one, now that it's ground coarser, I think will be longer than 50, but you never know. There you go. So that's 2 different shots, one after the other, one with 40 mils and one with almost 70 mils. And all I've done is change the grinder from a grind of 6 up to 16. We've weighed our beans. There's not really much difference in the process that I can account for, but we've definitely got a problem with the volumetric controls here. So, where to from here? Well, don't really have many options but to take it back to the service people again. Really, you can't be weighing every shot to find out if it's going to be accurate or not. So, yeah, I don't know how many more tests I really need to do to show that it's different, because there's been probably 4 shots in that whole testing where it's been vastly different. So yeah, I think that's a real issue of the Breville BES920 that needs to be resolved. Going to do some more testing. First one we'll do on 16. Now, in between these videos, I have increased my pre-infusion time to 10 seconds and my pre-infusion pressure to 70. Just to see if I can fix those couple problems. So for these couple tests, they'll be slightly different than the others, but they'll be at least in relation to each other. So with the 10-second pre-infusion, I'm hoping for 40 seconds in total. So we've got more mils here than what I've programmed it as. Above 70, wow. 76 mils. All right, let's do one more test at a finer extraction and see if we get the same 77 mil as this one. All right, so this grind we're on 6, so it's very fine. Back to the machine. As I said, I've upped the pre-infusion pressure to 70%, so that has made a little difference. And the last shot we did at the grind of 16, much coarser, it was this, what, 70-second extraction. I mean, so it's 70 mil extraction. So, I don't know what to make of that because they're both 70 mils now. We'll grind even finer. Let's see what happens. Well, now I'm confused. Now I'm getting consistency. Just look at how I've done on the top of that shot, eh? I'm gonna reprogram that 2 cup to be 40 mils. Make it a bit shorter like it should be. Might even just stop this at 30. Make it a bit quicker. 32. 32 we've got. All right, let's regrind it coarser and see what difference we get. 18 this time in the grinder. Looking for 32 mils. Not bad. Let's try again. Coarse grind. Still pretty high pressure for a coarse grind. What's it gone up to? Almost 40 in 20 seconds. I want to try and slow this down again.
Playing against Jack, boys.
16. Now I don't know what to do, because now we've had all these tests where they've been pretty much right on the 30 mils, but they're definitely the ones in the that I had earlier on were way different. So I don't know what's going on, whether it's going to be reliable or not. I don't know. What do you think we should do? I'm going to program it the way I like it. 40 mils, maybe 45. And I'm going to test it over the next day and do, say, 10 shots in the next day and see how consistent they are. I mean, what else can you do when you've had some that are dodgy and some that are good? So I aim for 40 seconds. Let's go with 40 mils in 40 seconds. And that's including a 10-second pre-infusion. So bit slow on my stop. 41, that's close enough. So I'm only 30 seconds. So with a grind of 10, I'll be finding that up a little bit to hopefully aim for more like 40. I'm just going to try it over the next couple of days and see how it goes over a few days. So having been playing with this for a week now, I'm in two minds. I was half the time thinking that there was no problem because many of the shots I've done this week have been right on the 40 mils, but that's using the same bean and the same grind pretty much. It's been very repetitive or consistent. But now I have tried different beans and different grind again and still getting very different shot volumes. They range from 35 mils up to 50 something, which is a large difference for a machine that's supposed to be volumetric. So I am now of the opinion, having played with it for a week, that there is still, the problem hasn't been fixed, and so I'm going to send it back for them to recheck and see what they can do. So I guess I'll be without it for another month, and I'll let you know afterwards what happens. Okay, I've decided to do 3 final tests to really show that there is still a problem. So before any of that, I'm just confirming that it is definitely on flow-based. And the 3 tests that I've done were with 2 different grind settings. The first one being very coarse, the second one being finer. So the first one there is at 20. The second one was much finer, and the final one was using a different bean which actually extracted slower again. And the variation between these 3 shots was between 35 mils and 55 mils. So this really confirms that there is still a problem. And 55 grams. You may have noticed for these last 3 shots I've increased the weight to 19 grams. That's just because I had been finding during the week with the grinder on 1, as you might have seen there, that I still wasn't getting the extraction as slow as I wanted. So for these last shots, they've all been 19 grams instead of the 18 that was previously done. For this last test, I've changed beans to a different bean which extracts more slowly. So I'm using the same grinder setting here of 1, but this is the one that really significantly affects the timing by slowing it down, as you'll see. So there you go, that's it. That's the last test I'm doing for this week, and I'll let you know how I go with trying to see whether they're going to try and fix it again or something different. So yeah, I'll let you know. Let me know in the comments if you're having the same sorts of problems, and see you around.